Welcome to the next video, wholesaling apartments with the flip man. Buyers, buyers, buyers. You've learned how to negotiate and deal with sellers, how to locate properties, how to evaluate properties, using the NOI, the cap rate. Now it's time to add the next piece to the puzzle of getting your deal closed and getting paid. And that's with a buyer. Bringing the buyer and seller together. So we got to find the buyer first. The site mentioned here is LoopNet.com. LoopNet is the site where most brokers post their deals and look for deals when it comes to commercial real estate. Anywhere from mobile homes, office space, retail space, obviously multifamily and apartments, hotels, land, you name it, it's there. So you'll reach out using LoopNet for buyers and sellers. Now there is a fee to use LoopNet. There are some free services, but to use it the way you need to use it, I think it's $49.95 a month. And that gives you access to be able to contact actual sellers, brokers, and sometimes sellers will post their own deals there that you can take advantage of. Just like with anything, dealing with brokers, some of them are going to be receptive, some are not. But in the commercial world or multifamily world, they're more receptive to dealing with people that bring them deals no matter where it comes from versus a residential broker or an agent, real estate agent. You may have some issues there. So LoopNet.com is the site where you'll reach out to brokers and say, hey, I got a property that I have on that 14 cap from the example before. It's located in Houston, Texas, and we're looking to get $1.8 million for it. And that's where you'll give them an incentive and you'll let them know what you're making on it, or you come up with an amount that you're willing to pay them for sending you a buyer. You may tell them 1%. They like to talk in those terms. So on 1%, that's 18 grand in their pocket just for referring a buyer, which that'll probably come from your side of the deal. If you're making 100, that means you're only going to make 88,000 instead of 100,000. So, I'm not going to allow 18,000. You're only going to make 82,000 instead of 100,000. I'm not going to allow 18,000 to prevent me from making 82,000. If someone can produce a buyer for me. But LoopNet.com, which I'll pull up the actual site in the resource tools and resources part of the course here that you can take a look at. So the next thing is online classifieds, and obviously the king of online classifieds is Craigslist. Craigslist is going to be a very powerful tool when it comes to commercial real estate and trying to remove multifamily properties. Because as I said before, you will have opportunity to wholesale your properties to individuals that don't live in the market where the property is located. That's just the way it's going to be, and that's a great thing for you as a actual wholesaler, is that there's no limit on who may be attracted to your property if you make it known that this property is available for sale. And Craigslist is probably the best tool to do it, because most of the time you can post these deals for free if you go in the real estate owned section of that property. And then you can go into the job section and go into the real estate section of it and put out a bird dog fee for someone to find a buyer for you. So there's so many ways that you can use Craigslist with all the different markets that it covers, where you can promote especially if it's a smoking deal, you can literally run your entire buyer side from just using Craigslist. Okay. The next thing is brokers. Obviously LoopNet, you have that option to find brokers, but what you can also do within a particular market, and I would probably stay out of the market where the property is located, actually the entire state. And what I would probably do is I would target commercial brokers in other states through their website. So if the property is in Houston, I may do a search for commercial real estate brokers in Los Angeles, in LA, and see if do they have any clients that would be interested in a multifamily in Houston, Texas. That's the way you will reach out to brokers outside of the market where it's located. And the reason that you want to reach outside is because it's somewhat of a small community as for who owns the properties and the realtors or brokers involved. And so you don't want to complicate your deal by this broker actually knowing the owner and they getting wind of it and all this stuff and it just blows your deal up. Not that you're trying to hide anything, but you want to control your deal. You don't want to lose control over your deal. So, but using brokers outside of the market where the property is located by simply just doing a Google search. Remember, Google is your friend, YouTube is your friend. But simply doing a search for commercial brokers outside of the market where the property is located is another source to reach out to try to find buyers. And the great thing about networking with brokers that they're in the game as far as the commercial side of it, they're going to know multiple players, and a lot of times they can't find something that their buyer is looking for, and you just fell out of the sky for them, and they're going to bend over backwards to try to help, because at the end of the day, they're going to have an opportunity to make money from the transaction also, and a lot of times they're going to be able to double dip. You will pay them, and their client will pay them also, which is fine. You don't care as long as you get your payday. You don't care how much money they make, or you should have that attitude. I know that's the way I feel about it. Okay, the next thing are bird dogs. Bird dogs is going to be what I mentioned, basically how you will reach out to individuals through Craigslist and other classified sites like Backpage. You're looking for individuals that they may not know how to put a deal together, but they do know how to find buyers. They know how to market and advertise things on the internet. You can't put a price on that. So with a bird dog, you'll just set your fee on what you'll be willing to pay them. If you're going to make $100K, I don't have any problem paying someone $5K to produce a buyer for me. I would love to pay them that and pay them each time that I have a property, if I can find someone that can find a buyer for me, because that's work that I didn't have to do. And in most cases, this is a buyer that I'll probably build a relationship with, that I can do a future deal with. And that $5K that I pay the bird dog will be worth the investment. I remember one of the probably the second deal I ever did. I don't remember a lot of my deals. It just depends on what I'm talking about. I could probably bring something up on a lot of them, but my second deal, I can't number them, but my first and second I can number those. A bird dog referred me to a guy, and I paid him $1,000. This guy, I probably did 20 properties with this guy over the next couple of years after that. That $1,000 made me a lot of money. That one referral fee to a bird dog made me a lot of money, because once I met the buyer, not that I left the bird dog out, but that's what they do, So now the buyer and I had a relationship where I never talked to the bird dog again. I never heard from him again after I paid him. So, and I always my thing is, why be a bird dog when you can be a wholesaler? It's only just a step, one more step, and that's placing the property on the contract. You've done all the hard work as a bird dog. Why not go ahead and reap the max benefits on wholesaling the property? But hey, it is what it is. Everybody has their place. All right, the other option is other wholesalers. Okay, whereas the other wholesaler, they may accept that $5,000, but they may want to get a bigger piece of the pie to bring a buyer to them. They may have one ready to go. In that situation, in most cases, I pay people. I don't care. What's half of zero? It's zero. So if I hadn't found a buyer myself and someone has a buyer that they can perform, I'll give them half the deal. So if I was going to make 100 on the deal, I'll give them 50. I'll give them half the deal. So, but that's me. You don't have to do that, but that's the way I'm going to operate. Same thing, if I produce a buyer, if you and I are working together, I'm going to want half the deal. So you're going to have to make that decision. Most people don't have a problem with it because, again, they have the attitude that I don't have a buyer. So if you can produce one, here's half. if your buyer can produce. And then, like again, just like with the bird dog, now you know this buyer, and you'll have the opportunity to deal with them in the future without me. So that's the game. And the other option is me, the flip man. Hey, please take advantage of dealing with me, and I'm going to be there to coach you. You may be able to produce your buyer. I don't get any of that, but if I help you produce a buyer and within a transaction, then I want to get paid. I'm going to get paid if I produce a buyer. I'm not even going to allow the deal to be structured unless I'm assured that I'm going to get paid on it. So that's it. As far as buyers, it's all about marketing, people. Whether you have a buyer for a deal or not, you always want to market your property. Even if you already know somebody, you still want to market it. You may not include all the details to the property, but you want to market it because you can never have enough buyers in your pipeline because people get in and out of the business. So you always want to be marketing your deals whether you have a buyer for it or not. But this takes care of your buyers video. LoopNet.com, Craigslist, contacting brokers outside of the market where the property is located, using Craigslist to meet bird dogs and other wholesalers, and of course you got me. That's what you're paying for. Obviously getting the knowledge on how to put these deals together, but the other great thing is that you have a relationship with me that I'm going to help you all I can to put these together because that's what you're paying for. And maybe, which my overall goal over time has been to jump into this and partner with people all over the country. So here it is. You have an opportunity to work with me, and we put these deals together. But this is the course. I'm not giving you a sale. You're already in it. So see you on the next video. Thanks.